Namaskaram. Welcome to Dr. Sahida Academy. I am Dr. Sahida Subhash, a passionate educator, and I am happy to have you with us. In this video, I explain the concepts using simple and understandable language, clear and straightforward examples, a variety of engaging visuals, including images, animations, and video clips, informative tables to organize and present data, practice questions to reinforce learning, mind maps to summarize and connect key points. I aim to make learning both effective and enjoyable. Today, we will explore the interesting world of heredity. We will look at 4 important theories: Germplasm Theory, Mendelism, Darwin's theory, and Lamarck's theory. Let's dive in and learn about these key concepts that have shaped modern genetics. What is heredity? Just recap. Heredity is the process by which traits are passed down from parents to offspring. See, throughout this video, I have used 2 terms, traits and characters. Let's see, what do you mean by traits and character? Traits. Traits are specific qualities like being tall or having blue eyes. Traits are observable and measurable. Then, what is character? Character is nothing but it's a values and ethics like honesty, kindness, etc. Have you ever noticed that our mother's eyes, father's smile, and grandparents' nose are the traits we inherit? Yes? Let's start by understanding the basic concepts of heredity. At the core of heredity is DNA. DNA is the molecules that carries genetic information. Each cell in your body contains DNA, which is organized into structures called chromosomes. Humans typically have 46 chromosomes arranged in 23 pairs. Now let's see the theories of heredity. In this video, we will be discussing 4 theories: Germplasm Theory, Mendelism, Darwin's theory, and Lamarck's theory. Germplasm Theory. August Weismann was a pioneering German biologist who introduced the germplasm theory in the late 19th century. He aimed to explain how inheritance works, he proposing that heredity information is passed through germ cells. Let's see basics of germplasm theory. According to germplasm theory, there are 2 distinct types of cells in an organism: germ cells and somatic cells. Germ cells are the reproductive cells such as sperm and eggs, male cell and female cells, that carry genetic information to the next generation. Somatic cells, on the other hand, are the body cells that make up tissues and organs. Weismann proposed that only germ cells are involved in inheritance, meaning that genetic information passed down exclusively through these cells. Next, let's see the key principles of germplasm theory. Weismann's theory is built on 3 key concepts. First one, the separation of germ cells and somatic cells. Second one, the continuity of germplasm, and the immunity of germplasm to environmental influences. First, let's discuss the separation of germ cells and somatic cells. Germ cells, like sperm and egg, carry heredity information passed to offspring. Somatic cells, which make up body tissues and organs, do not contribute to inheritance. Say for example, imagine 2 types of cells in a plant. The cell in the leaves and stem, these are somatic cells, are not involved in passing traits to the next generation. But the cells in the seeds, germ cells, are passing traits to the next generation. Next, we have the continuity of germplasm. Germ cells contain a continuous and unbroken lineage of genetic material, ensuring traits are passed across generations without alteration. Say for example, think of it as a family heirloom passed down from one generation to the next, staying intact over the years. Lastly, the immunity of germplasm to environmental influences. Genetic information in germ cells is protected from changes caused by environmental factors affecting somatic cells. Say for example, if a tree loses some branches in a storm, the seeds it produces will still grow into healthy new trees, unaffected by the damage to the parent tree. These principles highlighted the importance of genetic continuity and stability in the process of inheritance. and that's a wrap on our overview of the germplasm theory. Here are some practice questions for you. Try it out and discussing the answers with you at the end of the video. Next, we continue our exploration of the theories of heredity with a focus on Mendel's theory of heredity. Gregor Mendel, an Austrian monk and scientist, conducted pioneering experiments on pea plants in the mid-19th century. He published his findings in 1865, which have since revolutionized our understanding of heredity. Mendel studied various traits in pea plants, such as flower color and seed shape. By controlling pollination, he observed how these traits were inherited over multiple generations. For example, Mendel observed that when he crossed pure-breed purple-flowered plants and pure-breed white-flowered plants, all the offspring had purple flowers. Mendel's theory is built on three key principles: the law of segregation, law of independent assortment, and law of dominance. The law of segregation states that each organism has two alleles for each trait. These alleles segregate during gamete formation. So, each parent contributes one allele to their offspring. Imagine a pea plant with one allele for purple flowers and one for white flowers. During gamete formation, these alleles separate, giving each gamete either purple flower or white flower. Next, the law of independent assortment. The law of independent assortment states that alleles for different traits segregate independently. This means the inheritance of one trait generally does not affect the inheritance of another. Means flower color does not affect seed shape. For example, the allele for flower color, purple or white, segregates independently from the allele for seed shape, round shape or wrinkled shape, leading to genetic diversity. If not clear, I will explain in detail with an example. In genetics, an allele is a different version of a gene. Say for example, a gene for flower color in pea plants can have an allele for purple flowers and an allele for white flowers. Now, let's see the independent assortment, which is the distribution of one pair of alleles into gametes does not affect the distribution of another pair. Here are two pairs of alleles, isn't it? One is flower color allele, another is seed shape allele. Let's say the allele for purple flower is capital P and the allele for white flower is small p. Then let's say the allele for round seeds is capital R and the allele for wrinkled shape is small r. When a pea plant forms gametes, a sperm or eggs, the allele it passes on for flower color, purple or white will be chosen independently of the allele it passes on the seed shape, round or wrinkled shape. Imagine a simple grid, that is Punnett square, where we combine the flower color alleles with the seed shape alleles. Here a plant could pass on any combination of these alleles like purple flower with round seed, PR, capital PR, or purple flower with wrinkled seed, or white flower with round green seed, or white flower with wrinkled yellow seed. Here you notice the inheritance of the flower color allele does not influence the inheritance of the seed shape allele. This is the law of independent assortment. Got it? Yes. Now the law of dominance. The law of dominance states that in a pair of alleles, one is dominant and the other is recessive. The dominant allele trait is expressed in the organism. Say for example, if a pea plant has both a purple flower allele and a white flower allele, which is dominant? The dominant is purple flower allele. The purple flower allele will be expressed and the plant will have purple flowers. That is law of dominance. So, Mendel's principles are used in breeding programs, genetic research and medical genetics. And that's about Mendel's theory of heredity. Okay, let's continue with a focus on Darwin's theory of evolution. Before that, we have some practice questions. Try it out. Now let's continue with a focus on Darwin's theory of evolution. Charles Darwin was a British naturalist who revolutionized our understanding of life on Earth. He published On the Origin of Species in 1859, where he introduced the concept of natural selection. Darwin's theory explains how species evolve over time through a process called natural selection. Let's break down the key concepts. Darwin's theory includes several key concepts: natural selection, variation, overproduction, adaptation, and descent with modification. First up is natural selection. This concept suggests that organisms better adapted to their environment are more likely to survive and reproduce. Imagine a population of beetles. Some are green and some are brown. In a forest with mostly brown leaves, the brown beetles are less likely to be seen by predators and more likely to survive. Over time, more brown beetles will be around because they survive and reproduce. Next, we have variation. Variation means that individuals within a population differ from one another. These differences can be in color, size, shape, or behavior. Say for example, consider a population of birds. Some birds might have longer beaks, while others have shorter beaks. Next is overproduction. Overproduction is the idea that most species produce more offspring than can possibly survive. Think about how many eggs a fish lays. If all those eggs hatched and survived, we would have an overwhelming number of fish, isn't it? This overproduction leads to competition for resources like food, water, and shelter. Next is adaptation. Adaptation refers to traits that improve an organism's chances of survival and reproduction. These traits are shaped by natural selection. Say for example, in a cold environment, animals with a thicker fur are more likely to survive and reproduce. Over time, the population will have more animals with thicker fur. Finally, descent with modification. Descent with modification means that over many generations, organisms change and these changes can lead to new species. Imagine a pack of wolves living in a cold, snowy environment. Over many generations, some wolves might develop thicker fur that helps them survive the harsh conditions better. These wolves are more likely to survive and have puppies with a thick fur. Over a long period, this pack of wolves might evolve into a new species, well adapted to the snowy environment. And that's a brief overview of Darwin's theory of evolution. Understanding these key concepts, natural selection, variation, overproduction, adaptation, and descent with modification help us appreciate the incredible diversity of life in our planet. Next, we continue our exploration of the theories of heredity with a focus on Lamarck's theory of heredity. Before that, here are some practice questions for you. Let's try it out. Now let's delve into the pioneering work of Jean-Baptiste Lamarck and understand the principles behind the inheritance of acquired characteristics. Jean-Baptiste Lamarck was a French naturalist who proposed his theory of heredity in the early 19th century. Lamarck was one of the first scientists to suggest that organisms could change over time, which was a groundbreaking idea at that time. Let's explore the key concepts of Lamarck's theory. Lamarck's theory includes two main concepts: the use and disuse of organs and the inheritance of acquired characteristics. First, let's talk about use and disuse. Lamarck proposed that organs and structures become stronger with use and decline or weaken with the disuse. So, for example, think about a blacksmith who uses his arm muscles constantly. Over time, his muscles become stronger and more developed. Next, we have the inheritance of acquired characteristics. Lamarck suggested that traits acquired during an organism's lifetime can be passed on to their offspring. So, for example, consider giraffes stretching their necks to reach higher leaves. Lamarck believed that this stretching would lead to longer necks and this trait would be inherited by their offspring. And that's a brief overview of Lamarck's theory of heredity. Understanding these historical theories help us appreciate the development of scientific thought, isn't it? Yes. Let's briefly review some key points. I will show the mind map. Theories of heredity, Germplasm Theory, Mendelism, Darwin's theory and Lamarck's theory. First, Germplasm Theory. There are two key concepts: germ cells and somatic cells. Germ cells are sperm and eggs. Somatic cells means body cells. Then Mendelism. There are three concepts: segregation, law of independent assortment and law of dominance. Then Darwin's theory. There are several key concepts: natural selection, variation, overproduction, adaptation and reason with modification. Finally, Lamarck's theory. Lamarck's theory, there are two concepts: use and disuse and inheritance of acquired characteristics. Here are some practice questions about Lamarck's theory and don't skip. Finally, let's check your answers of all practice questions. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to leave your questions and comments below. Join our WhatsApp channel for further updates and discussions. The link in the description. Let's learn and grow together. Thank you.